So what if I bought some gold and then waited 12 months and then bought the same gold again? So I'm not going to try to play analyst here, but we have a little bit of news monkeying with gold prices this week. Jerome Powell was renominated as Fed chair, and that sent the price of gold down. Actually, it's probably a lot more accurate to say that that announcement sent stock market higher, since the market doesn't like uncertainty. It also sent the dollar up, and those two things together sent the price of gold down. But just for context, we're talking about a 3.5% drop. So gold is effectively back to where it was at the beginning of this month. I was going to wait until Black Friday to see if there were any deals worth jumping on, but a seller that I liked just happened to have something in inventory that I wanted. So I made a quick purchase. Spot was around $1,800. And then of course, as soon as I bought it, it fell another $15. And that's just how things work. I think the trend is still going up, so I'm happy about it. I got what I wanted at a good premium. And here's something fun. As I was going through some stuff, writing down the details of the new purchase, I saw that I made the same purchase from the same seller a year ago, within about a day. If you want to take a guess at which purchase was more expensive, I will give you a minute. But last year at this time, we had a bunch of news as well. At that time, we had just seen the third vaccine get approved. And we were seeing every time that a vaccine would get approved that there would be a drop in the price of gold. That was like the second dip in a short period of time. I went back and watched a video that I made from about that time frame. I don't recommend doing that. Those videos are terrible. But it was interesting to see that we're basically running up against the same kind of trend. The purchase was for another American Gold Buffalo. Big surprise. I still have to pick it up, but we all know what they look like. And the question of which one was more expensive was a trick question because it turns out that they were exactly the same price. Pretty anticlimactic, but last year I bought when spot was at $1,820. And just coincidentally, right after I purchased that, spot dropped to $1,800 flat. Now yesterday, I bought the Buffalo at $1,800. I think it was actually $1,802, but he gave it to me for $1,800. And then the spot price dropped another $20 if you were quick. Right now it's down about $10 from that at $17.90. So there was a spot difference between those two purchases of $20. And apparently his premium's gone up in the last year because both of them cost me $1,900 even. That seems crazy that the prices could be the same 12 months later. But if you look at the last 12 months, gold has traded between $1,900 and $1,700. There was a 3-day period where we broke outside of that, but that was a very special case. I'm sure people remember the Capitol riot. That's what spiked it to $1,950. It was really only there for a day or two though. So if you use today's price and that same price from 12 months ago, you'd use $1,800 as an equilibrium. We saw $100 above that, $100 below that. So it has been trading within a band of about 5% the entire time. I can see where that seems a little bit boring, and there are comments on every video I make that point this out. That's no big deal, but I'm not someone who makes videos to say that gold or silver are falling off of a cliff. I'm also not someone who says that they're going to the moon. But we still get them. We get plenty of comments from people either saying just buy Bitcoin instead, or they might be asking why anyone would buy gold when it isn't keeping up with inflation. Through the magic of charts, though, we can see that the spot price of gold on November 23rd, 2019, that's 2 years ago, was $1,460. The spot price of gold the year before that, November 23rd, 2018, was $1,223. And then in 2017, it was about the same as 2018. So 2020, we were dealing with some stuff. There were some things going on that pushed the price of gold up 27% year over year. And that was on top of a 20% gain year over year prior. So it was already on a run. And I'm using year over year based on November numbers. So if you used actual calendar years, I think in 2020 it went up about 33%. So I'm not blaming anyone for feeling like gold isn't really doing anything, especially if you're comparing it to Bitcoin or maybe just not looking at charts to go further back than a year. But gold is actually doing pretty well against inflation lately. So most of the people who watch these videos already know this, but gold isn't an asset that's supposed to 3x or 7x your money. It's an asset that's just meant to hold its value. So if somebody's telling you that it's going to the moon, then they're probably using the kind of math that assumes that we're on the other side of some kind of apocalypse. If that's part of your plan, that's totally fine. But if it's not, I think that it's probably just good to know that this is the kind of thing that you use to lock up long-term wealth. Do it little by little or a bunch at a time. It doesn't matter. But if you're looking to do that bunch at a time type of purchase right now, there's really no way to know for sure where spot price is going to be in a year from now. I've talked to a few people lately who think that it's going up aggressively next year, but there's just no way to know for sure, except to say that we do know that it goes up over the long term. And if you're buying it a little bit at a time, you're probably in the clear, because if your dollar cost average 3.5% swings probably aren't going to wreck anyone. And you'll get 2 years into it, 3 years into it, and the bit by bit strategy will have piled up. It's now going to be something significant. So if that apocalypse rolls around, well, I guess you'll be a king. But if it doesn't, you still have an asset that you don't have to watch price charts for every single day. You won't have to time a cycle to avoid that 50% drop in value. And if you're trying to come up with a plan now, or you're rethinking a plan you already have, I would just say pick something that you know that you can stick to. So something that won't stress you out, and then buy it monthly, every other month, whatever. Just something on a schedule. I bought quarter-ounce American Gold Eagles. I bought them every month for years and years. Now I'm buying Buffaloes. But it's the same idea for 1/10 ounce coins. Anything from fractional to full ounce or more. You just need to find something you like, something you know you'll be able to sell, and something that's not going to sting you too badly on premium. It's a little bit like that good, fast, and cheap triple constraint where you get to pick any two of those three. The Buffaloes I've been buying recently, I like them. They're super liquid. I know I can sell them very quickly, but they're a little bit more expensive than some of the other choices. Say like Krugerrand. A Krugerrand's going to be pretty cheap. I know I can sell it easily because they're very popular, but they don't really do anything for me personally. I'm not a huge fan of them, so it's on the other side of that triangle, I guess. And that whole idea of what you like, obviously it's subjective, so if you happen to like Krugerrands, you got all three nailed. Whatever it is, though, I'm sure it's going to be a lot more interesting than solely relying on cash savings. And going back to that idea of gold staying ahead of inflation, well, all you have to do is look at the charts. You can go back 20 years, go back 40 years, whatever. It's done pretty well. So if you're heading into the holidays, you're wondering where gold is at or where it's going, I think it's good to have the perspective of the past few years, past 20 years, past 40 years, whatever. Just don't look at it in terms of days or weeks or worry what happens if spot price drops right after you buy it, like it happened to me. That $15 isn't going to bug me a whole lot. You only lose if you sell. And if you think that you'll need to sell inside of a few months, well, there are probably better things to look into. So it's a big holiday week here in the US. If you're celebrating, hope you're able to take some time and have a good Thanksgiving. But either way, hope you're all well. Let us know what you're up to in the comments. Black Friday is also coming up this week for a lot of us, so I haven't personally seen great deals yet. Maybe I'm missing something. But let us know if there's anything that you spotted, anything that you're gearing up for yourselves. While you're there, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're into the topic. And if you're still here, thank you again for watching. Always appreciate your time. Take care.